Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Mahoutsukai no Yome, episode 14, aka episode 2 of the second part of the second season. Which is not how I'm gonna call it, I'm just gonna say Mahoutsukai no Yome season 2 episode 14. That's what streaming sites seem to have agreed on. My source where I get my anime also agrees on that nomenclature. So I'm going to be using that as well. Right. The previous episode was a really good introduction to the season. Not to the season, to the core, to the new stories, the new storylines that are ahead of us. Right? It showed us the current new situation at the college, reminded us what changed, why, who the characters are, what are their motivations, more or less. It touched upon at least a little bit of everybody. So it served as a very good reminder and a very good introduction, straight up with a hype episode, with some fighting, with some moral dilemmas on Chise's part, etc, etc, etc. What exactly happened in the previous episode? Well, first of all, Philomela had a chance to open herself up a little bit to her friends. Chise was there, who was there as also Isaac, Rian, Lucy, and Zoe. Yeah, they were there, and Philomela had a chance to open up a little bit. Why she's here, how she got here, and so on and so forth. As it turns out, well, we have seen that in the previous season at the end, in the finale. Alcyon, however you pronounce it, is still here, trapped at the academy and bound to Philomela, so she's gonna stick around. And curiously enough, she's not a natural, familiar of Philomela, but rather an artificially created fairy, created by some very prominent mage, or sorcerer, rather. Which really leads me to believe that Philomela was supposed to be the heiress to the Sergeant family, but her parents died, and her granny just destroyed her mentally, so that she's not gonna be any sort of a threat, and the granny took over the family. That would be my first and biggest suspicion. What else happened? Well, we got a combat class, a little bit of fighting, not with magic, but with weapons. Whatever weapon you want, as long as it's decently simple, so no guns. I haven't seen anybody use a flail or a bow or a crossbow either, so I'm assuming just a simple block shape that you can fight with. Some people had axes, like Isaac. Some people had the swords, staves, kamas, picks. Someone had a shovel, so a full variety. And they were supposed to fight monsters created by Fabio Pepperoni. Zaccheroni, I know, but I can't stop myself. Yeah, Fabio Zaccheroni, who is going to be their combat instructor, which is cool. I really like the archetype of an not evil, but like, you know, a former criminal being brought to teach the next wave of whoever under the heavy why am I missing words today so much? Under the heavy care, for the lack of a better word, of some supervision of a supervisor. Yeah, under some heavy supervision. Which in this case is Wachman Sensei, who I really, really, really like. Chise, of course, dealt with the beast no problem, didn't even use her weapon, just choked it out. Rian had no issues either, stabbed it in the head. Philomela didn't have any issues either. We know that those three are the three students at the school who have killed someone. Chise, it wasn't so much her as it was either a dragon or Cartaphilus controlling her body at any given time. She hasn't actually killed anybody of her own volition. It was mostly just her body moving on its own. Rian and Philomela probably had a little bit of a different history with their first times, I would suppose. Chise and Rian then got to fight Zaccheroni. The rest of the students were still fighting the beasts. Isaac had a little bit of a flashback to some village when he was hiding with some sort of, I don't know, some piece of cloth over his head, right, cowering somewhere in a forge, which leads me to believe that he's perhaps an apprentice of a dwarven blacksmith, and the dwarven village was attacked, and Isaac is the sole survivor, and that's why he's hiding his head in the hoodies, because that trauma of using the piece of cloth, or maybe he has something to hide on his head, maybe he has horns or something like that. That's not entirely out of the question, is it? Maybe he's a cyclops. I don't know, who the fuck knows? We haven't seen his face yet. What else? Philomela also goes through a little bit of an episode. She sure kills the enemy, then talks a little bit with Rian, and then she has some, doesn't seem like purely mental issues. It really seems like it was physical somehow. Now, it could be physical caused by mental state, that's like perfectly valid, but something tells me that there is something like physically different about her, physically wrong with her, that killing has such an effect on her. Perhaps that's why she's seen as a faulty member of the family by grandmother, because the family is a family of assassins, and here we have Philomela who starts puking after killing a beast, let alone being tasked with killing a man, right? Maybe, something along those lines. Chise and Lucy carry her over to the infirmary. Lucy tags along because she will just pass out if she gets away from Chise for too long, which is very interesting, very cool. I guess a similar thing kind of connects Elias and Simeon right now, right? Elias supplies magic to Simeon so that he can stay alive, stay lucid at least, and Chise supplies magic to Lucy. Interesting parallel. And Philomela then says, yeah, no, don't take me to the infirmary, take me to my room. Except much more sternly than I just said it. She really has very strong feelings about not visiting the infirmary for whatever reason, which again leads me to believe that she is fearful of something physically wrong with her being discovered. Maybe a cursed tattoo on her back, maybe, I don't know, scales growing on her chest, whatever, right? Something that would come to light at the infirmary, so she'd rather not. Everybody's mysterious so far. Everybody has a lot of history, everybody is their own character, besides those like secondary characters like the Saint George twins, Atwood twins. There is some history hinted at in their case, sure, but nothing that really came to light. We have Kevin Forbes, Sophia Haley, who else is there? Lazarus McGovern, Roy Truman, Martin Chandler. We know absolutely nothing about them. So, yeah. And I'm looking at the list of characters. The Ariel has arrived at the academy as well, but couldn't enter. She wanted to visit Chise, but the barrier is in place and she just couldn't get through, which is sad. I would really like to see Ariel also included in our cast. I like those mischievous little flying harpies, what can I say? All the while, Veronica is that very hard to read character, very mysterious character who has certain ties to Philomela, but we don't know what exactly. Is she doing what she's doing for Philomela's benefit? Or for her own selfishness? Is she a good person? Is she a bad person? I have no fucking clue. And it's good. It's cool. She's been portrayed as just a plain villain, kinda sorta, for the most part. But then again, she hasn't really done anything too villainous. It's just Philomela is kinda scared of her for no apparent reason. Now we know that these surgeons have always served the Rickenbackers. But I wonder. In general, there's a lot of focus in this show, in this season, on the new generation of mages and sorcerers, right? Elias kind of got sidelined. It's just Chise leading the show, so maybe there's gonna be some themes of Philomela and Veronica finally solving the issues of their respective families or something like that. I don't know. I really don't want to speculate that deeply because there's no basis for it, really. So, what's going to happen in today's episode? Chise and Lucy will probably take care of Philomela. Whether something's gonna come out of it or not, that remains to be seen. Maybe Chise sees something that she shouldn't. I don't know. She was preparing the potpourri set, so maybe she's gonna visit Philomela and they're gonna make some potpourris together. Besides that, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Any number of various threads could be touched upon. We have plenty. We have stuff to pick from, right? So I think we should just start watching this episode because I've been talking for 12 minutes already. Jesus. Let me just correct the... that might be a little too warm. I think this will be fine. So, to watch it, you're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on. And I'm also gonna have to ask you guys for your support. Support the channel monetarily on Patreon or YouTube, everything down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching Ancient Magus Bride Season 2, Episode 14 in 3, 2, 1, go. Spiders. Oh, werewolves. Oh, it's the werewolf mother and werewolf father. Okay, so they were forced by the granny, of course, to be assassins. Who would have thunk granny would be responsible for it, right? What you gonna do with that head, I wonder? Are you gonna finish the job and hope that Granny is gonna give you back your children? Because if so, then allow me to express my doubt that Granny will actually hold up her end of the bargain. And he's also a werewolf. Interesting. And the new opening. Right. The opening alone just revealed so many new threads that we can follow. It's wild just how much stuff was contained within the opening alone. Chise helping all those poor children. Oh, that's where the scene with Joe covering his head was shown, and not during the combat scene. Sorry, I got that mixed up. During the combat scene, Joe said that he's a maker of weapons, not a user of weapons. Yeah. Thuri says, there we go. Season 2. Tilling the fields. I guess you're gonna have to be self-sufficient because you're cut off from the world. I mean, you need food from somewhere. Exactly. Smiling Philomela, well, that's a sight. Oh, you know each other? Yeah, there was that bit with climbing trees. Right. To Philomela. Weapon crafters and weapon users. Yep. Makes perfect sense. Alcyone. Not Alcyone, Alcyone. Okay. Yeah, that would be the closest description. So I guess Lucy wasn't there during their little talk. Yep, okay, so it's a mental block from like destroying, killing. Which means she had to fight someone, kill someone, something. You're a friend. Why else? Chise is a bleeding heart, as simple as that. Yep, and Chise can feel it. Because she lived it. Lucy, you better not listen in. You heard enough. What is this foreign concept of freedom you talk about? That's an intense face. Sparkling. Chise, you can stay. Nah, I was actually hoping that Philomela is gonna stop her. Okay, some sort of assassin tenets. That's why she hasn't used the potpourri. She carries it around, but didn't actually, like, make a tea out of it. I mean, yeah, you are a little bit egotistic, but for the benefit of everybody else, so that's fine. Right, the concept of payment. That was also a fairly strong point in the first season? I'm not sure. Right, of course. Of course you don't trust Chise. Keep telling yourself that. It's unlikely that she's gonna feel any better, so you're probably not gonna find a better chance. Was that kid Philomela? Is that your suspicion? Head covered with something. Isaac? Drink. Free yourself. Master has given Dobby a bottle of water. Dobby better fucking drink. Okay, so is it a curse? Or is it just so deeply ingrained in her psyche that she just can't break it? Of what? Oh, Granny Dearest is conveying a message. Yep. Wasn't the barrier supposed to stop magic and shit? Okay, so did Granny just prepare those messages ahead of time to, in case Philomela starts feeling a little bit better, she can just re-traumatize her? Hmm. Is it a curse or is it simply So much trauma and brainwashing. They're not that different, actually. That you think about it, if you think about it. What's her purpose then? Okay, just following Philomela and spewing bullshit at her. Gotcha. The witches? Who do you mean? Marielle and her werewolf friend? Other witches of the coven? Right. Marielle is like one of the witches of some witches circle, right? Oh, I was expecting his head to get twisted off or something. Then again, it doesn't seem like a normal kiss either. Okay, what was that? Is that how she conveys information? Yeah, I guess that's how she passes. Yep, gotcha. Take off the scarf first, you're gonna suffocate yourself. Oh, full werewolf transformation. Curious. That's a nice track. London Bridge. Just a random home, huh? Or they actually counted on the book getting into someone's hands. How did the book find itself at the college then? That means they are in the area, though. You going into the interdimensional space of funny doggos, or somewhere else, perchance? A cafe between dimensions? A shop between dimensions? Or just a hidden store? And information. Of course. There are no regular shopkeeps in this world after all. Even an intra-dimensional shopkeep is a man-eating monster. Hmm? Not the bees! So it's like Candyman? I guess he's Candyman. Aerial reconnaissance. That's gonna be useful. Golems still walking around. I thought they were only relegated to night duty, but apparently they are also out and about during the day. That's not Latin, is it? Latin doesn't have, like, lines above letters. Right, isn't he like from Greece or something? Right, and Chise is Japanese, so of course she would also have trouble with English. Yep. They are guards. Yeah, why are you surprised? Hello, Philo. Hello, Alcyon. Drink your fucking water, Dobby. Hey, at least Alcyon is a bro. A cis. Couldn't you have brought it here? Okay. Just out with it. Who? Yeah, I mean, her self-worth was destroyed by Granny. Ojo. Okay, so it is Latin because they're using Latin English dictionaries. Did they find the book? I would assume they did. Oh, okay, so nobody carried it out yet. Where would it be then? That is the question. Is perhaps Philomela in possession of it? Okay, the St. George twins are getting some spotlight. Seems to be the case. Okay. Man. I got absolutely no fucking answers out of this episode. Only more questions. But hey, that's also fun. Right? As long as you can trust the show that it will eventually provide the answers, getting some questions is perfectly valid. And if there is any show, any story that I would trust with providing answers, this would be Mahoutsukai no Yome. All that said, there hasn't been really that many shows where I would be annoyed by the lack of answers. I think Tact of Destiny was the one and only show where I was like legit frustrated by mounting questions and questions and questions, but no answers. There we go. Anything after credits? Spoilers. Let's not. Alright then. Let's watch this episode. Let's watch this episode again. Shall we? Yes, we shall. Of course we shall. Werewolves living happily. The cubs being kidnapped and Granny forcing the werewolves to become assassins and using the cubs as a bargaining chip. And the werewolf mother is still alive and kicking, hiding with her mate's head. Why the head though? I know. I guess Memento. Either Memento or there is a way to resurrect a werewolf if you just have the head. Or maybe she wants to bury that head or something. I don't know. She has it. That's what matters. And she cries, and that's how it is revealed that his name isn't listed on the list of characters, which is a pity. But yeah, which is why he cries. Because he feels the awu. Interesting that Alcyon appears a lot in the opening and is even given a focus in her individual little scene. You'd think that she'd be like no more than, I know, Ariel is to Chise, right? Just a random familiar, but no, she seems to be somewhat important. Also, on that note, we haven't seen Ruth in a while, have we? Another familiar. Nothing venture, nothing have. And yeah, we need to till the fields because the college is closed off. So, of course, we need to get our own food. Philomela laughing, a rambunctious little kid wearing shorts instead of a dress or a skirt. She was tomboyish and whatnot. And she changed a lot. Like a lot. From a lively, tomboyish, smiling, blushing kid to a wreck of a human being. We each had to destroy a familiar, yeah, and she is adverse to destroying things. I guess bad memories or some trauma connected with Philomela having to kill someone to perhaps be accepted in the family. and that's why she is seen as faulty by Granny. As I already said, she was given a task to kill, and she couldn't. Or she did, but then became just completely useless. Could it be? Could it be that Philomela was the kid in the spider shed of the Websters? She was there with the werewolves to, I know, learn about their trade, what they're doing, right? We are assassins, here's how you assassinate. And she got so shaken up by it that she was just hiding in a corner. Why wouldn't the werewolves take her back to the mansion then? Why would they leave her behind? I know, but I guess the thought that she is that kid shaking in a corner is worth noting down. There we go. Philomela. Philo. Was the kid cowering in the spider shed where Websters were killed. Whether she was there because she was an assassin, or she was there because she was supposed to learn her trade, or she was there for whatever other reason, it would check out. Witnessing this much death traumatized her for life, and now whenever she destroys, like Alcyon says, she gets very, very sick. It really would check out. This is interesting that, yeah, she did collapse when Chise met her for the first time, which would mean that Philo was just about done with killing someone or something. What could that have been? Anybody's guess? But it seems to be a valid thought. Why'd you worry about me? Yeah, because there's like a lot of pain in you. I feel a connection with you. I was kind of the same. You look like you're in a lot of pain, and I just kind of want to alleviate it. I just want to be friendly, you know? I had similar problems. Maybe I would be willing to listen. If you can make a even if you make a mistake or you fail, you can always try again. Freedom, etc., etc. Philo really has some intense faces in this episode. Jeez, us. No one's ever told me that. Yep. You mustn't drink, eat, or use anything someone else gives you. There's no telling what's in it. That very much seems like a credo of a family who would be a family of assassins or otherwise combatants or otherwise shady enough for other families to wish ill on them. Then again, I guess it would be basically any family. Right? Like even Websters just having their spiders making their books. They probably shouldn't drink, eat, or use anything someone else gave them. Because chances are it would be maybe poisoned, maybe trapped, right? Although I guess that within more normal families, the limitation would be unless that someone who gives you it is a trusted member of the family. Although that's not a given. Family members could very well rebel. I know, I mean, it's a good credo to have, sure. But that's kind of also how you train the dogs, right? So that they only get food from you and don't just go around eating random sausage spiked with rat poison that lays somewhere on the lawn. It's very training-y rather than like a good wisdom of the elders. Because there should be the element of your own judgment, right? You are supposed to judge whether you trust that person or not, and if you really truly trust them, go ahead and eat at your own risk. But sure, you can. This is very like training. There's one scenario and only one scenario, and that's how you do it. That's what you do in that scenario, and there's no, no leeway. And yeah, that explains why Philomela, partly explains why Philomela kept the potpourri instead of making some tea. I guess another part of that explanation is that she simply wanted to keep something that a friend gave her. It was probably one of the very few times she actually got a gift from someone who she could even vaguely call a friend, right? She wouldn't want to waste it on just drinking it. She would rather keep it. Couldn't trust anyone who always grants other people's wishes at their own expense. Yeah, that was... I'm now questioning whether it was a theme in Ancient Magus Bride or in some other show that I've seen. That theme of adequate payment, right? When you do something for free, it's naturally suspicious. You need to demand some payment for it. I have a feeling it might have been Mahoutsukai no Yome, but I'm not sure. There's no telling what they might do someday. Yeah, one day they might come and want to retrieve their debt, right? What they are owed. You don't know. I don't know what you might do either. I don't trust you. Sure you don't. You're just playing a hard ass, Lucy. You're just playing a hard ass. They couldn't have killed a person if they had such a hard time killing a familiar. Wait, so the kid shaking in the corner was a familiar? Is it Joe? The hood, the shadow on their face. I know. Either Philomela or Joe. But what the fuck would Joe be doing there? I know, I mean, worth noting down. The cowering kid was Isaac. Yeah, what are you talking about? Familiars, suddenly. They couldn't have killed a person if they had such a hard time killing a familiar. Yeah, I don't know what she's referencing here. Is she... Did she know that the person in the corner, or did she think that the person in the corner was Philomela? And then now she got a confirmation that, hey, Philomela had a hard time even killing a singular familiar. She wouldn't be able to slaughter my family. Alternatively, Joe, he had trouble fighting that one familiar with a weapon he made. He wouldn't be able to slaughter my family. I know. I don't know if I'm missing something or is it like obtuse on purpose. I need more leads. I was really, really hoping that Philo is gonna have a drink. That Dobby is gonna be free. Why can't I just have some water or tea someone's given me? You accepted everything you were told, no matter how upsetting. Why is that? But I can't do this anymore. I was about to say best bro Alcyon, making Philomela question things, perhaps helping her break through her mental block. But then it turns out Alcyon is a recording device. And Granny had some pre-recorded lines. Should Philomela question, but I can't do this anymore. Oh, detected, Alcyon detected that Philomela said I can't do this anymore, so she has a pre-programmed line to play back. I will no longer tolerate you wasting the chances I give you. Register to Alcyon ahead of time, seems so. So that so that you can never know respite. So that you can never find life without Granny. So that you can never be free, so that you can never run away. Otherwise, do what you are told, carry out your role. If you wish to see your father and mother, you shouldn't even have the time to whine. Could it be that Philomela's parents are also kept hostage by Granny? Just like the werewolves? Or could it be that Philomela is a werewolf? One of the cubs taken by Granny, all grown up now. That's actually not out of the realm of possibility, now that I think about it. Philo is one of the werewolf cubs taken by Granny, all grown. Plausible. Message will be deleted. Is something the matter? Yes, something's the matter, Alcyon. Just fucking look at her. Have there since been any more demands from the sergeant family that she leaves the school? None so far, because Philo is their sleeper agent on the inside. Alcyon might not be capable, but she is just a... Oh. I think I know what's up. I think Philomela might legit be a sleeper agent. And Alcyon is a way for Granny to activate her. Alcyon isn't very capable. She's not combat-oriented. She's not particularly strong. Philomela might be. And with enough Granny's brainwashing, with certain phrases spoken, played back from a recording by Alcyon, Philomela can start acting. Right? She had a goal, she kind of forgot about it, now Alcyon reminded her about it. That's why she regressed, that's why she's avoiding Chise now. That's genius if you think about it. Nobody would suspect Philomela alone, nobody would suspect Alcyon alone, but together they are more than the sum of their parts. Alcyon essentially gives a boost to Philomela, kinda sorta. Nothing noteworthy. If we're lucky, the witches will catch them. Here's the book, called Descent. Henshin into a wolf. And... yeah, a random house that's been selling the equivalent of a Necronomicon. That seems fairly shady, doesn't it? And we are paying a visit to a shopkeep who has all sorts of various stuff. Buy the box. We're gonna take 5 and 1 coin for the information. I adore this world. And does he have like... yeah, of course he has a multi-segmented eye. Just like an insect, just like a bee. He is the Candyman, isn't he? Just gonna poke in her brain. I really, really, really love the world created in this show. The fairy tale qualities of it, monsters and creatures that defy any categorization. Right? Like, you can't say that he is such and such. You can't give him any taxonomy. He's probably the only one unique being of this kind in the world. He just exists in this space. How does this space exist? Oh, it just does. I just made it. There wasn't any special spell that was used to create it. It's just one thing like that in the entire world. I love it. I love it how later when the headmistress gets the message from a walking, talking lizard, I like that we don't have like an entire swarm of those lizards cleaning around the college. For all we know, it's just this one specific, very dapper lizard in a top hat who is the gatekeeper for the college, and there aren't any others like him. It's great. I love it. So much of what humans make is imperfect. And there we go. Exercise 37, translated into English. Socrates cum facile posset educi e custodia noluint. Noluint. Oh, I guess it's a helper for where the accent should be. Socrates cum facile posset educi. No, it can't be just accent. Dolo erat pugnandum cum par non esset armi. Something femine ad ludos veniunt ut spectent. Something imperator. Imperator, I recognize that word. Socrates, I also recognize that word. And that's chapter 11, verbs. Okay, yeah, they are studying Latin. Nihil tam difficile ter heaut. Whatever. I took very brief classes in Latin. I can say rosam aquam do. Rosa alba pulchra est. Which is, no, it's the opposite order. Rosa alba pulchra est, rosam aquam do. White rose is beautiful, I give water to the rose. That I remember from my Latin classes. Because two forms, rosa and rosam as a subject of an action. And yeah, I guess Zoe and Chise have another thing to bond over, right? Zoe is speaking like Greek, I think, and English is his second language. Chise's first language is Japanese, of course. Second language is English. Exempt from having to do magic stuff. I wonder why. That's a pity. She really shouldn't be exempt. There should be perhaps some classes made specifically because, oh, we have some mages at college right now, so we might as well show our prospective sorcerers how a mage works, which is kind of how the early classes with Elias were, but now those classes are nowhere to be found, so it's kind of a bygone conclusion. Was there a lot of golems? Scared, ashamed, steeled up, turns on her heel and walks away. She doesn't want to waver, right? She was reminded of her goal, of her task by Granny, and now she is back in business mode. The layers are back on, and Chise will have to start peeling them away again. At least Alcyone is a nice person, fairy thing. I already know who the one is for me. Who might it be? Who might it be, Rian? Pray tell. If not Philomela, then... Yeah, I don't know. Veronica? Unlikely. Chise? Maybe. Does Rian have a crush on Chise? He certainly doesn't show that. Me? What do you think? Joe, you little shit. And here, this dapper lizard. As I said, I love it. I love those, like, one-off magical, whimsical characters. And they have appeared in front of the college. Right, I didn't recognize the tower, but it is absolutely the tower of the college. Inside the college. And this is Jasmine St. George. I think it's Jasmine. Someone's doing something to her. Someone wearing a glove. Who wears gloves? Chise wears gloves, but it shouldn't have been her. Philo? Could be Philo, but why? There also wasn't anything shown that would lead us to believe that it was the book being used. So what's going on with the St. George twins now? I guess we are headed towards the resolution of Philo's problems. Kinda, sorta. We need some other character to have problems now that we can solve for the future. Yeah, they're studying. Beatrice kinda gave up, I guess. Okay. That was a really good episode. I really enjoy the way Mahoutsukai no Yome presents the mysteries and the questions. They are presented in a way where I have full confidence that there will be answers, right? All the mysteries are presented in a way where they are at the same clues. Someone says something that creates a clue towards I don't know what. That's cool, right? They aren't necessarily asking questions directly, but rather giving you clues to things that you have no idea about. Like Joe giving us a clue towards why he's wearing the hoodie, while we didn't even stop to think that, oh, him wearing a hoodie is weird. I at least thought that it's just a character design like that, right? Some people are designed with bangs covering their eyes, like Kevin. Some people are designed with, I don't know, having permanently closed eyes, right? It's just a character design. He's wearing hoodies, that's his quirk, that's all. And then we got a clue that, hey, there's something more to that. A question of why is he wearing hoodies wasn't asked. Instead, we were given a clue. So that we ourselves have to assemble the question first, and then we have to figure out what clues go where. It's like getting a couple of stray puzzles, not the full thing of puzzles, but like 5 separate puzzles, no image to reference, and first you have to figure out what is it on those puzzles. Is it a cathedral? Is it a forest? Is it a cat? What the fuck is it? And then you can start getting more puzzles and assembling it more, and eventually you see, oh, fuck, it's not a cathedral, it looks like a factory. So start assembling it into a factory, you get some more puzzles, and you figure out, oh, shit, that's actually a train yard. So you start assembling it into a train yard, right? It's cool, it's cool. I really, really do enjoy how this show presents mystery and questions and clues and whatnot. Good shit, good episode. A lot of questions about a lot of characters, and I'm invested in pretty much every single one of them. I really don't have that feeling that I sometimes do of, oh, okay, whatever, skip that character, skip it, I'm interested in someone else much more, right? Let's get back to Philomela's thing. Let's try to figure out what's Philomela's deal. I don't care about Isaac, I don't give a fuck about his traumas. Just sideline him. Oh, why are we introducing Saint George issues now? I don't care about it, right? There's none of that. I care about them all. I care about all those mysteries. I want to find the answers to all of them because I care about all of those characters and I want the best for them. So, again, good shit. More of that, please. And I have no doubt that we will get more of that. Abso-freaking-lutely. And I think that's gonna be it. So, you guys, you tell me, what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers, please. Spoilers, go to my Discord here and in the description. There's also a link. And other than that, comments down below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Mahoutsukai no Yome, but also Magia Record, Helk, Shangri-La Frontier, Tate no Yusha, Saihate no Paladin, Shy, and plenty of others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified of when I go live, because I stream sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, linked down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Magia Record, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me on YouTube directly via memberships, super thanks, stuff like that, also down below. $1 membership, also I think it's $2 membership. It also gives you a role on the Discord. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! What am I doing? Here's my wonderful patrons: QB without a net, Survivor, Zayrainer, Aquamancer, David, Dr. Watt, Marshy, Kelly, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join the move out having to turn into bees.